on the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Another 2-0 victory here. So both of our series ending in dominant fashion for these teams, but Phoenix1 grabbing full control of third place. And that's the most key aspect of this series, was wrestling it away from the team they were tied.
Yeah, and it's a really big win for them. Plus, Meteos looks so good in this game. I'm half paying attention to what you're saying because really my soul is crushed with this Shaco again for Moon.
So another unconventional draft coming out of FlyQuest. Of course, we had some trouble getting even the right intended pick locked in, but they do, opting for the Shaco Anivia, and it doesn't succeed.
Okay, so Shaco Anivia, the picks, whatever. Picks, not what I'm mad at.
All right, what are you mad at?
The play is what I'm mad at. There's so many small things wrong with this Shaco pick, and Moon is the one who we have a video of who talks about how many games it takes, for you to bring out a Shaco in the LCS or something like that.
Right.
This is even skipping over the start, which I'll talk about later, but this is actually Meteos highlight reel, where Meteos, he comes down to try and answer the first gank. Yeah, Moon actually burned his exhaust there, going for a Nami who still had flash, who she was able to flash away and kind of extended. And then really, this clip that we're showing right now, this is going to be a Meteos highlight where he goes back to repeat gank the lane that they just pushed up in that Moon gank, and he circumvents all of the wards. There were 3 wards down that he had to get around for that. Then this is another mid lane play where he's working with Ryu to be able to punish High, who had been getting some more Shaco support. And the Anivia interaction with Shaco, by the way, with the wall, helps him out a lot. I really did like that. But again, the story here is really about Meteos.
Yeah, and here again, we see him counter-ganking Moon. So both in that very first clip and this one here, you can see that Meteos, very smart jungle pathing to get those counter-ganks in and make sure that he's showing up where the Shaco, as most of us have seen in a solo queue game at some point or another in our lives, could go off. A couple kills going to a Shaco early can really spell disaster. So the fact that Meteos was able to respond in kind and be in the right place, right time to both counter gank and then also make his own moves to come back in and capitalize to get that gold onto both himself and his laners is really what catapulted them to victory. I mean, he had a 5-0 scoreline pretty quickly into that game.
Meteos is playing at least one of his favorite champions that he has probably over 1,000 games on. I mean, she's maybe even more games than he's played on Zach. And he definitely showed here. The difference in junglers definitely showed here.
Yeah, player of the game going to be going over to Meteos this time around. I mean, as a guy who's come in midway through the split, he's getting the Olaf target banned against him, but he's performing on the other champions now. And the team as a whole in Phoenix1 is starting to look a lot better. They're looking a lot cleaner. I mean, of course, against Anivia, it's going to take you a little bit of time to wave clear and really push into the base, but managing to get 3 inhibs down, getting that Baron, playing it smart to the finish. I mean, they're closing out games in an intelligent fashion.
And they mention Arrow, who definitely deserves the nod as well, although not getting the player game this time around. He was really close. Plus, Stunt. This is another new member with all the, Team Liquid taking so much of the spotlight for players coming in. Stunt really showing right along with Arrow.
You mentioned him. Let's hear from him. It's time to send it over to Azael, who's on stage for an interview with Phoenix1 support.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Stun, and I want to say, first off, congratulations, successful debut with Phoenix1. How did the trade come to be, and how do you feel so far on the new team?
Well, I kind of just got told one day that I got traded, and I moved out the same day, and then we actually scrim dig the same day that night, so that was interesting.
I mean, how does that feel? You having no input in the trade, having it such a fast turnaround, and already playing against your own team. Is that something you're still comfortable with or still adjusting to?
I mean, I think the trade was overall pretty beneficial for me, so I'm pretty happy that they traded me.
So on Phoenix1, you have the opportunity to play with Arrow, someone who a lot of people are calling the best AD carry in North America. Do you think that's a guy who can really be beneficial from you, who can help you learn to play competitive as a support?
Yeah, so I actually luckily managed to end up playing with a lot of the best ADs in NA. I got to play with Piglet on Team Liquid Academy, and then now Arrow, and both of them are really supportive of me, and they always give me tips and advice, and they're all really willing to teach. So I think I learned so much from them.
It's very interesting. So a lot of people think of Piglet as someone who is pretty hard on his supports. What is the difference between a guy like him and a guy like Arrow? as far as how they teach you and how receptive you are to their feedback?
Actually, they're both like really troll in real life, and they're not hard. I think Arrow might be a little bit more tough on me. Like he's always criticizing me for my exhaust, and I'm just like like those are like split-second reaction times, and he's like always criticizing little things. So that's good and bad. And,
Definitely helps you improve. So speaking of exhaust, 7.5, it's getting nerfed. Tank supports may be coming back into the meta with the Bond of Stone changes, Ignite being comparatively stronger. Do you think we'll see more Ignite, more kill lanes, and more tank supports?
I think the new mastery, it's pretty situational. Like you have to have a slow or like movement impairing effect, and it's best when you have it like AoE kind of. So champions like Nautilus, Trundle, we might see again.
All right, cool. Well, congratulations and thank you very much, Stunt. We're going to send it back to the guys at the desk to close out the day.
Thank you very much, Azael. It's good to hear from Stunt, who, as it was mentioned, was a front runner for player of the game, at least in that first game, putting up a couple solid performances here tonight, finding himself officially on a starting roster for an LCS team, not just a sub anymore.
Yeah, told that I've been traded, and next day I move out, now I'm on a starting roster.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine what that's like. Like, yeah, being given that information, having to pack up your stuff, move to a new house, and then immediately sit down at a computer and play against the people not, maybe 12, 24 hours ago you were playing with. That had to have been a whirlwind.
It's actually a really cool insight because earlier when we were trying to dissect all the trades and talking about, what went into them, what did Dignitas get out of all these trades? Because they're really just the only one that are giving away a player. I guess they got money. Oh, maybe it was, to be nice to Stunt because he wants to starting. Turns out they just told him. You're traded.
Here you go. All right, have fun over there. Well, he is having fun because he has a victory here on day one with the team. But before we close out our day, I want to go ahead and take a look at how today's matches shifted the standings. Cloud9, they'll remain in first place with their win today, though. Phoenix1 have finally overtaken FlyQuest for third place, while Team Liquid will have to start to climb out of 10th on another day. We'll see if other teams can make moves within the rankings in our matches tomorrow, starting with Counter Logic Gaming going against Team Dignitas on NA LCS 1. Then FlyQuest takes on Immortals later in the battle arena. Over on NA LCS 2, we start with Envy versus TSM. After that, Phoenix1 hope to take down Echo Fox in the battle theater. Any particular match that you're looking at there tomorrow, Kobe?
Anyone where someone picks Shaco, so I finally get to talk about this. I'm sad that I didn't get to go on my Shaco rant. I had so many things.
You want to talk about Shaco? Rant away. I give you permission.
Moon.
What do you want to talk about? Talk to me about Shaco.
Okay, so first, let's just start at the very beginning because they kind of laughed off and they're like, that's a weak box. It's not going to last long enough. That's controllable, and every box is very important for Shaco's early game.
Yep. That's
one of the biggest strengths of Shaco. You get after this super quick clear, and maybe you're not paying attention, you're just kind of spacing out, and you put one over by Gromp. Gromp is the thing that spawns at the later time, so you can't put one of your early boxes there or else the timer will run out. You have to place them at 40 seconds for them to survive till the blue buff starts, so you lose one there. That's just like one minor thing. It's a lot of minor things that add up though. The Tiamat activations that you're supposed to cancel your auto attack animation into the Shiv, or the invulnerability or the untargetability frames of your R used to dodge things or drop aggro. These are the types of things that you really want to
Here's a question for you. I got a
see.
Question. Because I asked you earlier how exactly you would, you play Shaco, especially in the mid to late game situations, and you mentioned that you're typically moving towards that more split push style as opposed to playing maybe an assassin in a team fight.
Caveat for me as well is 100% solo queue,
right?
And very
different.
But
that's where this question comes from. So my question to you would be, how exactly could Shaco work in the competitive meta? Because in my head, right, if he is going to act as a split pusher, then your top laner needs to act as your primary engaging tank, but your smite is still on the other side of the map with no TP.
I don't think that he has to split push, and people always jump into that too. They're like, that's why we never see Shaco, has to split push. There are a lot of other things you can do that do have to do with important box placement, right, and picking people off. And the bruiser Shaco builds are very viable. Building the in-between ground where you still do have a lot of spread as well. The thing is none of those were shown though.
Right.
I'm still hoping.
Kobe's day ended in disappointment, ladies and gentlemen, but the hope is still alive for maybe a solid Shaco performance to come here in the North American LCS. Now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, don't max W on Shaco.
The Korean Shaco's max the Shiv second.
Thank you for watching,
other people max Q
and
second.
we will see you guys tomorrow for more North American LCS.
AP Shaco's max box.